the older you become, the more you realize that peace is not something you find, it's something you protect. There was a time when you believed happiness came from having more people around you, more friends, more attention, more invitations, more messages, more approval. But life has a way of teaching deeper lessons. It teaches you that a room full of people can still leave you feeling lonely. And one honest conversation can heal what 1,000 empty compliments never could. One day you stop chasing noise. You start protecting silence, not because you've become cold, but because you've discovered that silence often says what words cannot. A peaceful mind is one of the greatest luxuries a woman can possess. It allows you to think clearly, to love wisely, to make decisions without desperation, to walk away without guilt, and to sleep without regret. Many women lose their peace trying to save people who have no intention of changing. They become therapists instead of partners, rescuers instead of friends, caretakers instead of equals. They carry emotional weights that were never theirs to carry, until one day they are exhausted, not because they care too much, but because they forgot to care for themselves. Never confuse love with responsibility. You are responsible for your choices, not for another adult's willingness to grow. You can encourage someone, you can support them, you can pray for them, but you cannot force them to become who they refuse to be. That lesson alone can save years of heartbreak. Another truth that changes everything. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Many women waste precious energy explaining themselves to people who have already decided not to understand. They write long messages. They defend every decision. They replay conversations over and over, hoping that one more explanation will finally change someone's mind. Most of the time, it won't. Some people don't misunderstand you because you failed to explain. They misunderstand you because they already chose their opinion. Stop exhausting yourself trying to control what other people think. You can't. What you can control is your integrity, your character, your response, and your next decision. That is enough. Let's talk about confidence. Real confidence is not loud. It doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need to prove anything. It simply shows up. The most confident woman in the room is often the one speaking the least, because confidence isn't measured by volume. It's measured by certainty. She knows who she is. She knows what she believes. She knows what she will never tolerate. That certainty becomes her strength. Imagine walking through life without needing constant reassurance, without checking if everyone approves of your choices, without changing your personality just to fit into every room. That's freedom. And freedom begins the moment your opinion of yourself becomes stronger than the opinions around you. Another lesson worth remembering. Your future is shaped more by your habits than by your emotions. Some mornings you'll feel inspired, other mornings you'll feel tired. If you only work when you feel motivated, you'll spend most of your life waiting. Discipline quietly builds the life that motivation only dreams about. Read even when you don't feel like it. Exercise even when it's difficult. Save money even when spending feels easier. Pray even when life feels confusing. Small acts of consistency create extraordinary results. Never underestimate the power of ordinary days. They're writing your future one decision at a time. There is another trap many women fall into. They mistake attention for affection. Attention is easy. Affection requires intention. Someone can admire your beauty without respecting your heart. Someone can pursue you without valuing your future. Someone can compliment you while secretly draining your confidence. Pay attention to how people make you feel after they leave. Do you feel lighter or heavier? Do you feel encouraged or uncertain? The right people leave peace behind. The wrong people leave confusion. Protect your peace. It is one of your greatest responsibilities. Comparison is another thief that rarely announces itself. It whispers. Look at her success. Look at her relationship. Look at her career. Look at her life. But comparison never tells the full story. It never shows the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the disappointments, the failures, the prayers that seemed unanswered. Every beautiful story has chapters that were painful to write. Stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. Focus on becoming a little better than you were yesterday. That is a competition worth winning. One day, people will admire your confidence. They'll admire your calmness. They'll admire your wisdom. What they won't see are the moments you chose growth instead of revenge, forgiveness instead of bitterness, discipline instead of excuses, integrity instead of shortcuts. Character is built in private long before it is admired in public. So never become discouraged because no one notices your effort today. The seed doesn't complain because no one applauds while it's growing underground. It simply keeps growing, and eventually the harvest speaks for itself. Remember this: a woman who respects herself doesn't need to convince the world of her value. She lives it, she protects it, she reflects it in every decision she makes. She chooses peace over performance, purpose over popularity, character over convenience, and truth over temporary comfort. Before I ask you one final question, subscribe to Womanedge if you're ready to grow in wisdom, confidence, emotional intelligence, and feminine strength. Now, beautiful, let me ask you this. What is one decision that brought you the greatest peace, even if other people didn't understand it? Share your answer in the comments. Your story may be the reminder another woman needs to finally choose peace over people pleasing.